Hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome back to Fans React and another episode of Mackem Monday. I was a bit worried that it wasn't going to work there, actually, because obviously I don't know if everybody's aware, but we've got Facebook down, I think Instagram down, and WhatsApp. So I got a little error message saying it might not stream, but I think it's working. We've got comments coming through on the chat, so hopefully that's all good. But yeah, welcome along to the show. We've got quite a bit to talk about, especially after the last performance. I've got Matthew Lead, as always, here with us. How are you doing, Matthew? All right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you very much, Paul. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. I've got Super Bock today, so I haven't had one of them for a while. So I'm as long as I've got a beer in my hand, I'm doing great.
Good.
Colin, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to doing this. I think we'll have plenty to talk about tonight.
Yeah, excellent. I appreciate you coming on. I know it was quite short notice. We had a few availability issues. That's what happened last Monday, actually. So it might happen from time to time, but we'll always come back. So don't worry about it. And we've also got the show on the Friday as well, the Fans React Fridays. So you can get your fix of all things Sunderland that way. But yeah, we'll get straight on with it. Before I do, though, I like to just quickly say who's in the chat. We've got Amy Reeve. I think Colin knows who that is, don't you? Yeah. Welcome, Amy. Lauren, Kenny, evening all. Joanne Punchin, our moderator. Alan Robinson, evening, guys. David Wood, hello, mate. I've been talking to him earlier on Twitter. Absolutely great lad. It looks like we've dropped out. I don't know if we've got it saying on here, go live again. So I think we're having problems.
That's on Facebook, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, is it just give us the warnings on them? Is it?
Yeah, it's just the option on Facebook. We're okay on YouTube. I'd leave it for now, probably.
Right, I'm going to have to it's going to keep popping up, I think. I'll just try and close it every time. But yeah, welcome, David Wood. We've got Keisha Cameron, Jude, as always, Morgan Gray. So yeah, plenty of people in. We'll get straight on with it, though. We had a bit of a miserable day, to say the least, in Portsmouth. Not a very good day for a Sunderland fan, but we'll talk about what was possibly the cause of it. We can't really make excuses, but obviously everybody already knows the state of the pitch. The weather was torrential. It was like a swimming pool at times. And I just want to get your thoughts on whether, how that affected the team. Can we use it as an excuse? Personally, before I get your opinions, I would just like to say that it was a little bit like trying to. This is what I was thinking earlier on. It's a bit like trying to go skiing in the Winter Olympics at the Sahara Desert. If you don't have the right sort of environment, you can't do what you've got to do. So for me, it did have an impact. I think it should have been abandoned. Personally, I know some people disagree with that. I'm not trying to say that we would definitely have won on a better pitch, but I think the result would definitely have been different or a little bit more equal. That's just my opinion. I watched the whole game, and by the end of it, I needed a few of them beers. So, Matthew, did you watch the whole game as well, mate? What did you think? And what did you think regarding the pitch as well?
Yeah, I was there I was there on Saturday, and I got absolutely soaked, literally from head to toe. Walked back, my socks were, like that. Like when you actually walk in a puddle with your shoes on, and you got water in your shit. It was like that all day. Absolutely soaked, shivering. It was a horrible day. And I said on Twitter as well, I think they ran out of hot dogs at the stadium before half time, which was something else wasn't happy about. Anyway, let's talk about the football. Anyway, so I think before the game, I was thinking, we could go to Portsmouth and play our football, because I think at the stadium of we've been playing our nice fancy football, really good football, passing the ball really, really well, moving it well, passing the ball in areas that are catching the opposition team out. And I thought when I saw the rain and I saw how the state of the pitch, I was thinking this is not going to be a game to play that kind of football, because clearly you could not play football on the pitch, because every time you try to pass the ball, it wouldn't even go 2 yards. And I just don't think we were ready for that. Dayaku starting, I think, we were saying before that he's going to get a bit of a shock, and it's going to be a learning curve for him, because, he's someone who likes to play his fancy football, and that was not a game for any kind of fancy football or anything like that. So yeah, it was very, very disappointing. I think Portsmouth obviously handled the weather a lot better, but they also started a lot better as well. We kind of struggled at the start, and you had Flanagan and Bailey Wright. Whenever they knocked the ball forward, they kept knocking out for a throw in. They kept just kicking the ball out of play. And I was like, this is happening every single time. It was getting really frustrating. And then obviously Portsmouth scored their goals. And I think that's when the weather got even worse after the 3-0 up. And then every time we try to come forward after that, it was literally the pitch and the weather just stopped us from doing it. Mm-hmm. So I think we got forward a few times, but because of the ball, like it wouldn't move. It was like I've seen. It was worse than some Sunday League pitches, and we just there was no way we could have got back in the game, which was it was very disappointing. And I think someone said there, it should have got called off. But Portsmouth were winning 3-0 at the time, and if that got called off, if we switch it around, if we were winning 3-0 and we got it called off, I mean, you imagine the anger of it. So I don't think if it was 0-0, I think they would have been called off, but. Yeah, no, it was a very, very tough day.
Yeah, I can totally understand Sunderland fans. If it was the other way around, we wouldn't want called off. But it wasn't playable. I seen Danny Collins on show. He was saying it was like farcical at times, and it was you need if you. It's like the skiing in Sahara. If you're bowling on a freaking rocky surface, like anything, you need to have the right tools to be able to play it properly. Obviously, they adapted better, like you said. So, yeah, totally agree with that. Before I go to your comments, I want to go back because we've got a load more people coming. Sean Middleton's here with us. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing well. Alyssa Rowell, another member of the team. Ian Kelly. Ian Kelly. Is that the lad? We used to work with the lad.
It could possibly be
Maxwell's.
Ian Kelly. Let us know, Ian, if it's you, because we used to work with him on the buses years ago. I think if it's
it was on the buses, wasn't it? That's
right, on the buses. I'm pretty sure that's who it is.
Yeah, it could be. Chloe Curtin, hello, evening lad. She says. Clayton Edwards, good lad. He's here. Chris Wilkins, he said, "Where's Wee Philly?" I don't know. If I shave my hair a bit more, you never know. It might be a bit. David Joblin, hello, mate. Welcome to the group, and I think that's it. We've got Ian Kelly's done some kind of. I think he's done that. So yeah. So it must be him. Long time since I've spoken to you, mate. But I hope you're well. Anyway, back to the show, Colin. You've heard what we've had to say about it. What was your thoughts on the performance and the pitch? We'll not talk about tactics just yet, but yeah, if you just tell us what you thought of the actual match.
My overriding feeling at the end of it was just pure and utter disappointment. After the high of Tuesday night and Cheltenham and how well we'd played, and the frustration of, and I know that we both had to play on that pitch, but the frustration of a decent pitch, and I don't think obviously that would have been the same outcome if we could have played our football. I know they're all ifs and buts, and they were on the same pitch we were, but it was never 4-0. It wasn't a 4-0 game. There wasn't that much between the sides. The conditions, you've got to say, just completely ruined the game. Now, why it wasn't called off before the game? Is it because 2,500 Sunderland fans have made such a long journey down, and the referee thought, I don't know, minute, would it have been called off if it was a more local game?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's. I'm thinking the referee's trying to give the game his best a chance to keep going. I mean, for me, I've never seen conditions on a football pitch like that. Probably since we played Newcastle. Can you remember back? I mean, years ago when Kevin Phillips scored in the sudden rain, and I think it was on a Tuesday night. We beat them 2-1.
Yeah, can you imagine if they'd abandoned that after the goal?
Yeah, can you imagine it? Jeez. It sort of reminded us of that. So, as much as I wasn't angry with the team, well, I was angry with the team because they adapted to the conditions better than we did. Simple as we both were on the same pitch, and I was frustrated that I was expecting a reaction at half time, and there wasn't really. I mean, I know the conditions deteriorated even further, but I think there should have been some sort of reaction. Do you know what I mean? We should have got in their faces a bit more because they, even on that pitch, were aggressive and we weren't. To me, we looked like we didn't want to play in this. We just wanted it stopped. They weren't in the ear of the ref constantly, but they just didn't look comfortable. They didn't look as though they knew what to do, because we have a certain style of football where you need to play on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And you clearly couldn't do that. As you were saying, Matthew, the ball was just sticking. It wasn't running. Players were running and stopping and sliding into each other. And I thought the only way this game was going to get called off is if someone got injured, basically. Badly injured. Otherwise, once the second half started and the conditions continued to deteriorate, you just knew it was going to go on. And you couldn't call it off. 3-0 down, there'd have been riots down there if they'd done it. In hindsight, if it was ever going to get postponed, it should have been postponed before kickoff. And that's terrible for all the Sunderland fans that's went down there. And the money that they've spent. But I was very disappointed with how we just didn't adapt to the conditions. And this won't be the last time. You know, we've got the winter ahead of us where we play in these sort of conditions on some poor pitches. And I mean, generally, Portsmouth is a good pitch. So, we're going to put some worse pitches as the weather kicks in and we get into the nitty-gritty of winter. And have we got the squad that can play on it? We're going to have to learn quickly.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, was it last season or season before? I can't remember. We had one that seemed to be light. Now our pitch is generally
Plymouth.
good, but it was Plymouth. Yeah. Was that abandoned or was that? I can't even remember.
Plymouth 1-2-1.
Oh, yeah.
They played it.
But yeah, I was going to say that before the game and at half time, the ref was out there like rolling the ball and seeing how well it flowed. Think that I did, as far as I'm aware, I know Danny Collins mentioned this again. Going back to him, he was saying they didn't do any of that. It was just like the game was going to go ahead regardless. And obviously that brings out all the Sunderland supporters saying that the refs have got something against Sunderland and whatnot. I don't know if that's the case, but it just didn't seem to me at any point like the ref was even considering it. And obviously the commentators on the stream that I was watching was Portsmouth commentators, and they were like, look, they were just saying constantly like, oh, look, the Sunderland's just complaining and wanting it abandoned. That's not a good thing to do in front of the player, like, because obviously Lee Johnson started off and then they got stuck into it as well. But yeah, I think they had a point, but like you say, once it's 3-0 down, I think he's just going to let it go unless there's like lightning hits the pitch or like you say, somebody gets injured. Quickly back to the chat.
Unfortunately, we just need. It's one of these games where you've just got to tack it on the chin, literally.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. Right, sorry, I just want to go. I don't want to miss anybody here. We've got a few more people in. Ethan Dixon, RH Sean Sausage. He's obviously talking to Sean in the chat. Colin Major Matthew was dodgy with you on Saturday, and coming from a referee's perspective, what did he think?
No idea what he means.
No, not too sure.
Just try not ask it again, please, Colin.
Yeah, ask it again. Jimmy Paddy, can we not just chalk it off as simply a bad day and learn from it? Of course. I mean, I think that's what we've got to do. There's no ifs or buts about it, but there's nothing wrong with discussing why we were as bad as we were. And I think anybody really would say that the pitch did have some part to play. Kevin Flavin, evening everybody. Hope you're all well. Bad day at the office on Saturday. AJJ, another regular there. I wouldn't be too hard on the team. They tried. Pompey's quality shone brighter than ours on the day. Alan Robertson's here. It was an embarrassing and disgraceful performance, he says. Will Allen, the middle of the pitch was all right. Yeah, basically you had a small section that you could play on.
It was the corners. It was the corners that were really bad. And
pretty much.
I could see. Sorry, Colin. I could see every time we brought the ball forward. If it was Dayaku or what Ross Stewart likes to do is he likes to make these runs, and obviously the defenders hoof the ball forward, and then he gets it, goes in the corners, sort of turns back, passes it back, and every time he got the ball, I was like, he's coming near the corners. What's going to happen? And he would complete. And what would happen is he would run with the ball would stop, and he'd keep running and run past the ball. And then the Portsmouth player would just be standing there with the ball and can bring it out again. It happened with Dayaku as well. I think Ethan O'Neill put a video of it on Twitter, and like that went everywhere as well, and it just was like it was ridiculous. It was impossible to play, and a big part of our game is crossing the ball in the box for Ross Stewart, taking the ball in the corner, corner kicks. We've scored a lot of goals this season from corners, a lot of goals from crosses, and that is where our main source of goals come from. And it was just impossible to get those opportunities. So the corners were really, really bad. The middle of the pitch was okay, but there's only so you can't really score from the middle of the pitch. But yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. EGG says that all their goals were supplied from the flanks in the worst areas of the pitch. Now, as far as I can remember, they did obviously come down the wings, but I don't think they were going. The goals didn't come right down. We were sort of going right down towards the corner flag, weren't we? So I think theirs was a bit more. They were coming sort of in towards the corner of the box.
Yeah, I can kind of remember their goals. I remember the second one. I don't know if you've seen their second goal. Just before Ronan Curtis got the ball, he stamps on O'Nien's boot. Like, he stamped on his foot. I think that could have been a red card. That's dangerous play. Didn't get any of the ball. Stamped on his foot. O'Nien went down. Yeah, and there was no free kick. They got the ball, scored, and then for their third goal, they got a free kick from pretty much like the same place. Put a free kick in, and I mean, it was terrible defending. And their fourth goal, I just want to say as well, I think the ball, one of the players crossed it in, and the ball was it was going to roll out. Like someone just sort of overshot a pass, and you go, oh god, that's going to roll out. But the rain slowed it down on the pitch, so the ball stopped. So the player crossed it in, and then it led to the goal. So it's in on that occasion the rain works in their favor, which is kind of our luck really. But yeah, as I said, they handled it better.
Yeah, Jason Ashman on the chat. After watching the highlights on the night, I thought it was a disgrace to be played. However, there was only one goal that was affected by the weather. Like being mentioned, no one seriously complained. I think I know what you're saying there, Jason, and I do agree. But I think the way we played the game, the pitch was obviously soaking wet, and it was just affecting the way the ball was played. But it does sound like I'm making excuses here. You are totally right. They did perform better than us, and they fully deserved the win. So I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to try and make too many excuses up, even though you're a bit biased because it's Sunderland, aren't you?
About what I was going to make a point before about the pitches. A lot of these pitches, I mean, I remember especially Roker Park was very similar. You had a pitch where it went from the centre to the edges of the pitches, and it was sort of like that across the pitch. So basically, all the rain that's coming down from onto the pitch is all draining to the edge of the pitches, edge of the pitch. So that's why you're going to get that sudden water on the flanks. You know what I mean? And in the centre of the pitch, it was quite all right, really. I mean, if the whole pitch had been like that, it would have been all right. But I agree with what I can't remember who you've just been talking about there, but it was a really poor performance defensively. Anyway, I just thought defensively we were abysmal on Saturday.
And I think as well, if you listen to Flanagan's post-match interview, he was absolutely he was really angry. I think he was angry with himself as well. And he said that was his worst, apart from Coventry at home. And he said that as well, apart from Coventry at home, where we lost 5-4, that was his worst performance in the Sunderland shirt that he's admitted to. So at least you can see it hurt the players, and it also hurt Lee Johnson when he came over to applaud us at the end. He's had his hands up like that, and all of a sudden, they were apologising. And so I think when you see their hurt from it, it just shows, it's not like, whatever, we'll try next week. It really did affect them. So, I mean, it just shows as well that they cared as well.
No, I totally agree, because there has been times, I think, in the past when it has felt like the players and the managers just don't really care about the fans. When we've been beat, I'm on about when we got relegated from the Championship and all that sort of games, they just walked off. Do you know what I mean? There was no clapping sometimes. Some of the players just didn't seem to give a shit that the fans had travelled thousands of miles or whatever. I do really feel sorry for yourself, Matthew, and especially people in the northeast travelling all the way to Southampton to stand in that weather and with that performance. It must have been horrendous.
But I think after the game though, it was when the players came over to applaud the fans. We were still singing, "Sun Until I Die," and we weren't there going, like that when Paolo Di Canio drove around after West Brom, we all stand there like that, what you doing and what, like it was everyone screaming, come on, like against Burton when we lost 1-0, the players came over and they were all disappointed. We were all still screaming, come on, because that's just the belief that we have at the moment. And I'm not too affected from this result. When I was walking out, I was sort of just like, what can you do? Season's up and down, but I've got confidence in this team, and the fans can see that. And it was when they were coming over right at the end, we were, we were really, it was really, really passionate, really was, So yeah, I think we still have the belief, although this result has happened, because I think we have belief under this team and this manager. If that was under Phil Parkinson, right, and I don't want to mention him, right, but I'm going to anyway. If that was under him, there would be no belief whatsoever. Like there'd be no belief, because he'd just sit there and go, like, we get beaten, oh whatever, thank you very much, and yeah, well, we moved the ball well, we did our best, and that was it. That was what it would be. But this time, we see the players that are hurt from it, and yeah, I think so. The belief is still there for me, definitely.
Yeah, no, definitely. Gary Keir, Iniesta has been brilliant for us this year, but has teams now sussed him out playing at right back because Pompey ran rings around him on Saturday. Now, I know what you're saying there, but it's basically part of my next question. I wanted to ask. We'll start with you, Colin. Actually, did Johnson get his team selection wrong? It didn't seem to have a plan B. I think that's the question there. But would it have made any difference with the players that we've got in our squad? People were saying obviously McGeady wasn't playing. Would it actually have made any difference, or is it just the way we play, regardless of who was in? It would have been a similar outcome, or do you think if we'd had some changes that we could have played maybe a more direct route, lumping the ball up and things like that? Or could we have done that with the team that was out there? What do you think?
Personally, I don't think there's a lot you could have done in them conditions. I think credit to Portsmouth, sometimes like you say, you've just got to go like that, right? Hands up. They played better than us and adapted to the conditions better than we did. I think we missed McGeady, because he is a leader on the pitch, somebody who, regardless of what the weather conditions are like, it'd have been demanding more from the players on the pitch. And obviously when you've got players like that doing that, it rubs off on the players, and they try that a little bit more. I'm not saying they weren't giving everything they've got, but I just think sometimes you need a more experienced professional who's been there, seen it, got the T-shirt, to just keep everybody going, because you got to remember this is quite a young squad, and a lot of these players won't have played in conditions like that or in situations like Diaku, like you say. I mean, I bet he got a rude awakening when he saw that, and even Hoffman, the keeper, I bet they've never played in that sort of situation. I was bitterly disappointed with Wright. I'm not loving Wright this season, to be honest with you. At the back, he looks shaky. He just doesn't look his normal composed self, and I thought to run a game it would help him. I don't know why Doyle didn't start. I don't know if he was still carrying or not when he came on in the second half, but for me, he should have started the game alongside Flanagan. I mean, we had Evans in the middle of the park, but again, I just think it was one of them days where we've got to go, right? Yeah. Okay, I don't think a massive change of personnel and tactics would have made much difference, because we tried the hoof ball, we tried to play football, we tried to hoof it forward, and they just, if I had to put a difference between the sides, they looked as though they were up for it. That rivalry that's between Sunderland and Portsmouth now, they just wanted to be in our faces, and just giving us these slight little digs and knocks, like what happened to 09. They were hungrier for the game, and
Colin,
I think that cost us.
Do you think the result would have been different if it was a dry pitch?
Yeah, without doubt.
Fair enough.
I'm not saying that they wouldn't have beat us, because on the day we all know Portsmouth's a decent side, but I don't think we would have took a 4-0 tanking. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I don't think we would have looked that poor either. I mean, you could hear them singing, top of the league, you're having a laugh. You could hear them singing it loud on the stream.
The points don't lie to this. So. No,
but the thing is, they're only saying that because they're beating us, and that's what you do, isn't it? That's they're the sort of same games. They're the sort of songs that you sing. So I sound like a broken record, but we've just got to take it on the chin. They were hungrier and more up for this game in these conditions than we were ever going to be, to be honest, on the day.
Yeah, definitely. I do apologise if you can hear Baby. We always time the live streams with Baby having a bath, so she's loving it in there. So if you can hear baby noises, I apologise for that. Can you hear them, Matthew?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. It's just it's the same time every time on a Monday. But, right, Matthew, was there something else we could have done? Could we have put somebody else in that would have made a difference, or played like sort of tactically different, or we were just limited with what we've got?
To be honest, when I first heard about the lineup, it was one of them lineups. Like I don't know if when they come out, you kind of look at it and go, "Wow, now that's a good team." That's like our best 11, but you're confident in it. When I saw it come out and I saw Deaku starting and I saw Aidan O'Brien starting, immediately from that I thought, I'm not sure about that. And I saw Aidan O'Brien starting. I thought that would be a little bit of a recipe for disaster, because I don't think he's, all he really does is get the ball, shield it, and pass the ball. If he's not going to get the ball bomb forward and put in a good cross or anything like that, or expect him to score a goal. Not at all. So I thought I don't think that was a good decision. But then again, who else are you going to play when you have McGeady out injured, or you have Gooch out injured? And I think it was just unfortunate, really. It was just with injuries. And I remember when we played at Portsmouth in the first season in League One, we got beat 3-1. I remember looking at the team, and I think we started without a striker. And I thought, well, how on earth do you expect to score any goals if you start without? I think we started with Watmore up front, and you just think, what's going to happen there? Same thing in the second season. We started with the players who were in really bad form. I think we had like Dobson when we had other players on the bench who should have started. And again, you think, I've got no confidence in that team. Same thing on Saturday when it came out. I wasn't too confident in it. So I think as well, leaving Neil out, I thought that was that was a little bit harsh as well. But then again, I think Corey Evans might have been a bit more of a player in that game, because he's quite compared to others, he's quite a tough player. He throws himself in a lot of challenges. Same with O'Nien. But it's just a front three for me, really. Deaku, I thought, he's lacking his sharpness. I think you can see the quality there. However, he's just lacking that sharpness. And I think Portsmouth, starting him against Portsmouth, it was a massive game, and I think it probably wasn't the right decision. So I had an initial feeling when I saw the team line up. I thought, no, Aidan O'Brien start. I'm not a big fan of Aidan O'Brien at all. I think he's a lovely guy, but he's not very good, especially in big games like that as well. We need players to step up. I couldn't see Aidan O'Brien stepping up for anything other than a Carabao Cup game or a Papa John's Trophy game, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. It's all about opinions. I actually quite like him. I think we've got better players, but I do think for that sort of game, I think he's actually better. I think he's a bit more aggressive than some players. But yeah, it's like you say, it's all about opinions. Before I go back to the chat, if you haven't given us a thumbs up yet, please do so. There's quite a few people in. I think there's at least 60 in. If you're on a mobile device, just close the chat quickly, give us a thumbs up. And if you're liking what you're seeing and you're not subscribed yet, why not just click the subscribe button? We've got usually 2 shows a week, and then we've also got the fans' reactions, which is what the channel's all about. We have post-match games and pre-match videos, so yeah, check them out as well. Quickly back to the chat. Then we've got Hanny95. Evening, everybody. What happened Saturday? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. A bit of a nightmare situation. This chat's jumping all over the place. Give us a second there. Sorry, but it does it every time on here.
It does, yeah. When you scroll down, it does.
Yeah. David Joblin said Curtis should have been sent off. Chloe Curtin, who's your starting 11 for tomorrow's match? We'll get into that a little bit later, darling. Do you think injured players should travel with the rest of the team as support or stay at home? I'm not too sure about that.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think the club did that because it costs money, and I think the club would have flown down. They would have flown down to probably Southampton and then travel to Portsmouth, and I think it's just a waste of money just buying a seat on a plane for someone who isn't even going to play or be involved. That's just ridiculous. Yeah. And I think as well, McGeady must have been quite bad, considering that a few seasons ago he was playing with a broken foot. So it must have been quite bad, his injury, for him not to even travel, as I say.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'll read some more in the chat in a minute. I just want to get this one in quickly. Tom Flanagan said after the game in his post-match interview that we were too arrogant. Do you think that was the case, Colin? Do you think I didn't personally think we were, but do you think that we sort of just thought we were going to win it and that was that, or what? What do I mean?
I don't think he chose the right word. I think complacent might have been the right word.
Yeah.
I think they might have been complacent. I think that, sometimes when you're on such a good run and then you give someone a good hiding, which had been coming for a few weeks, I might add, that Cheltenham game, and we're all up for it, aren't we? We're all excited, all looking forward to the next game, and obviously the players are as well. And I just don't think they were ready for what they were about to face. Never mind the conditions, what they were going to get from Portsmouth, and I think it just caught them on the hop a bit, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't think they prepared for that game as well as they should have, because we knew days before. I always look at the forecasts, and I knew days before it was going to be a torrential rain game. Do you know what I mean? And it was going to be atrocious conditions. I'd known for days, and it looked as though Portsmouth knew that, and it adapted their style of play for the game to do that, but we still went out there with the pattern of play that we would try and normally play anyway, which was going to be impossible in them conditions. So I don't think it was arrogance. Maybe I like to say a little bit of complacency kicking in, and hopefully this game just gives them the kick up the backside to think, I don't know, we can't take anybody lightly in this league. We can't just stroll into games and think, we're the finished article and we're going to win games now. Because there was too many players in the side that I wouldn't say were arrogant, but had an off day. Whether that was the conditions, when the team's playing well, you need about 7 or 8 of your players to be getting 7s, 8s out of 10s, and on the markings basically. And I think there was a good 4, 5, 6 players that just weren't at it on Saturday. Didn't look up for it. Didn't look up for the fight. So I wouldn't say arrogance, but I'd say complacency. Didn't fancy the game.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll ask you as well, Colin, before I get that. I want to ask you as well, Matthew, about the complacency thing. But, Colin, there is a lot of Sunderland fans asked, there's even one here, David Joblin's asking the question, should the Sunderland fans get their money back for the performance? What are your thoughts on that?
I was thinking about this before. We all rave on about our fans with good right, because they are, to us, they're the best fans out there, aren't there? 2,500 travelling down in them conditions, standing, like you say, in shoes that are soaking wet, and you used to jump in puddles when you were kids, and and it was just it wasn't just terrible weather, it was a terrible performance, terrible result, and then they've all got to come back. It's the cost, money spent, getting down there, accommodation, food, everything, drinks, food. So yeah, I think when it's an extreme circumstance like this, I think the club possibly could compensate the 2,500 that went down there in some form of what, I don't know. But I think that definitely, the loyalty, and like you were saying, Matthew, after the game, they weren't on the back, they were behind them saying, come on, let's put this together to bed. We're right behind you. And they need the fans. If there's anything that pandemic's proved in football, you need your fans there. And they were brilliant on Saturday, and the club could do something. I wouldn't like to say what, but I would like to see the 2,500 that went down there compensated in some form.
Yeah, Matthew, obviously, I think we've all said if the pitch was fine, we would have gotten maybe a different result out of it. So is it the fans? Is it the club's fault that the weather was like that? And should they compensate the fans for coming down? And were we too arrogant as well as a team?
I think just unprepared. I think I think everyone had a bit of a spring in their step after beating Cheltenham 5-0, and it almost feels like when we beat Crystal Palace in the Premier League 4-0, and then I think we got beat 4-0 the following week. I think it was against Aston Villa or it was someone. We just had that. I think Jermaine. We were 4-0 up at half time when we all thought we were going to get smashed to pieces. We won 4-0 against Crystal Palace. Got beat the following week, and I think it was just getting a bit too ahead of ourselves. And it was the same thing. I think, and all that good work we did with our goal difference, pretty much gone to waste. But anyway, but no, listen, just unprepared, and also in terms of compensating. Listen, I'm not too bothered. The club don't need to compensate me because as a supporter, I'd follow Sunderland through any conditions, and I'd expect us to. I'm expecting to win. I'm expecting to lose. I'm expecting to draw. That's why I spend my money and go. I don't spend money because I think we'll win. It's not like I don't pick and choose which games I think I might go to that game this season. I'm not going to go to that one because we're going to get beat. I don't care. I'll go to all of them. And if we lose or get beat, if I get soaked or if I'm really hot, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to go to the game. So, I'm there to support the team and, whatever. So I think it was good for the players as well to realise that. It's disappointing, but I think just unprepared really, and just getting a bit too ahead of ourselves. And we only went there playing a type of football which is fancy and looks nice and it's quite entertaining, but you can't do that all the time. You can't do that on those kind of pitches. And I think Johnson's one that always takes everything on board and he learns from it, which is really, really good from him. I think even when we drew the Bristol City 3-3 after coming from 3-0 down, he was manager of Bristol City that day. You could see how hurt and upset he was, and he said he'd learned from that. He'd made mistakes, and that's the thing. You're always going to make mistakes. It's good we made them at the start of the season, and just learn from them. And you can see the players taking that on. You can see the manager taking it on. They'll learn from this. Yeah. And and I can go to the next game. I'm going tomorrow, and I'll know that the players would have learned, and in our next league game, the players will remember that, and it will only make them better. So that's something I'm confident in, and to be honest with you, I'm glad this has happened when it has, because hopefully it will never happen again this season.
Yeah, 100% agree with that, Matthew. In the chat, Jeff Holcroft said that the game didn't suit our style of play. End of, we move on. We can't dwell on it. He says we missed the Kevin Ball as well. Totally agree. If Kevin Ball had been in there, that would have been some fantastic tackling going in.
Just to say, my dad's joking here. Yeah, he's joking. He doesn't actually mean that. He's just saying it to wind. He likes winding people up. He's just joking.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Good guy. He's got a good sense of humour there. So, Amy Reeve, I don't think there would have been much difference. To be honest, they could have done with a bit more of a push, but the conditions were hard. Alan Robson, we played direct versus Cheltenham, so how come Johnson didn't take the conditions into consideration? Yeah, you'd have to ask him that one. Nobody really knows. Chris Scott, no, they shouldn't get their money back. It would open a can of worms. Personally, I think I agree with Chris there.
I'm not trying to say that the club should give people refunds. I totally get what you were saying there, Matthew.
Yeah.
You home away, you support your team, you spend the money, you want to go and watch your team regardless of the outcome. I just think for a lot of people, it's a lot of money spent, and it's not the club's fault. It's not, but just as a goodwill gesture, something, would have been nice for some fans. Some fans can afford it. Some fans, it's a lot of money to spend on and yes, the fans do choose that. They do choose that, as Matthew rightly says, and they'll follow Sunderland anywhere. But I just think, for what they'd been through, it would be nice as a goodwill gesture just to see the club do something. They don't have to do it by any means, of course they don't. But I just think it would be nice and appreciated for what people do for the football club and follow them all over the country in all sorts of conditions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like you say, they don't have to. It's just it would be a nice gesture by the club to do something.
Yeah, totally agree. I think that's what when you said that, so I was taking maybe like a gift card for the club shop or something. Yeah, just for the fans that went. Even a couple of Bovril. Anything would have done. Wouldn't it?
I think it would be a bit unfair on like other supporters that went. I went, oh well. I went and watched Sunderland get beat 8-0 against Southampton, and I didn't get anything. Do you know what I mean? It will be like, well, I've gone and seen a really bad game, and I didn't. So I think
and that's why I'm saying it's not it would just be a nice gesture for the.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they have to do it, and everybody who goes to a bad match should expect something. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just thinking in them circumstances, and that is a one-off game. It would be nice. Not expected, but it would be nice.
Definitely.
Yeah. Amy Reeves said this might be a controversial question, but do you think it made Portsmouth more hungry for the game because of our result on Tuesday? So she's saying because we thumped Cheltenham 5-0, do you think it made Portsmouth more hungry? I don't think it. I think Portsmouth would have been well up for it, regardless of how we performed, where we were in the league or anything. It's just that rivalry it's there now. Do you know what I mean? So I think looking at the two lads, I think they totally agree as well. But it's a good question, Amy, definitely. Jason Ashman agrees with Colin. Wright has been shocking for ages, and because he scored against Cheltenham, everyone thought he was fantastic. I think that's totally right as well. Let's just go through a few more of these before it jumps.
Am I right? I mentioned the thing as well after you mentioned the comments.
Yeah, I'll finish these comments and then we've got a little thing that Matthew wants to talk about. Keisha Cameron Jr. says we're on 26 likes. So yeah, there's more than the 60 odd people, 65 I think at the minute. Give us a like, please, if you're enjoying the content. Even if you think it's crap, just give us a thumbs down. We don't care, but it is anything's interaction with the channel is good for us. So yeah, do that. In fact, yeah, go ahead, go for it now, Matthew. Give us your little.
Yeah, no worries. So basically what I wanted to do is just shout out something that one of my friends is taking part in and that my old secondary school are doing. So what they're doing is they're doing a 20-mile walk fundraising for suicide prevention in young people. They'll be doing let me just put this on the screen so I can just show you how to donate. So it's the first link in the description. There's 5 staff members, 5 students. They're all walking 20 miles. In total, that's 200 miles. And that's to represent 200 school-aged children that take their own lives each year in the UK. So every last penny of the donation goes to charity. So if you can go on there, leave a little donation and leave a nice message as well, wishing them luck. And that you can find that the first link in the description below. I think they're trying to get to about £2,500. So that is my old secondary school, including a friend of mine that'll be doing that, and he's walking 20 miles. I couldn't even imagine him walking 1 mile, but there you go. It's all for a very good cause. And yeah, good luck to everyone. So if you can donate, it'd be very much appreciated.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good cause there. Check the link out. It's at the top of the video at some point. Just give it a click. If you can, donate something. That's entirely up to you guys, but we appreciate that. The chat skipped right through loads. I've probably missed loads. I just want to have a quick look, though, at the bottom here. We Phillies just given us a like, so I really appreciate that. Thanks for coming in, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thian SEFC said, is that you, Philly, or your clone? I think it's him, but it might not be. So you never know these days. There could be loads of fake accounts out there. But if it is, thanks for coming in.
He doesn't. I don't think anyone would impersonate Philly. He's definitely.
yeah, definitely. You were on their show actually, not on the call. How was that? Was it good? Good set of lads?
Yeah. It was it was nice. So I went into Wee Philly's house. So thank you very much for inviting me in. And went in his studio, very cool studio. And just spoke about Sunderland really, which was good. I spent about 4 nights in the northeast, so that was one of the things I went and did. And as I said on there, I went on their channel. A few of their lads have come on our channel before. It's there's no competition between us. There's we're all Sunderland fans at the end of the day. We all want the same thing, and we all work very, very hard and take a lot of pride in our channels. So that's the only that was just the message that I was spreading whilst going on there as well. And just we all want the same thing. We're all Sunderland fans. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, excellent, definitely. Right, I'm gonna. I think that's it for the. I know for a fact. I do apologise if I've missed anybody, but I'm going to go back to some questions that I've got on here. So, Colin, was this just a little blip? Was it, is it something you expect in the next game? We're going to be back on it. How we've been most of the season. Obviously, we had a defeat against Burton as well, but can you see it being back to how we should be, mate? Maybe we've got the cup game. Obviously, that'll help as well.
It's the Sunderland way, isn't it? Just when you think you cracked it. you'll always come back down to earth with a bump with Sunderland. You just always do. History shows you that. We just when you'll get a great result against even in the Premier League against a Chelsea or a Man United, and then you'll play a Wigan at home in bottom of the table clash and get beat 3-0. You know what I mean? So like it is the Sunderland way. Personally, I think it's a blip. I think, as we've all said in different ways, we were ill prepared, we were complacent, conditions didn't help, and as I said, we've got to take this on the chin and we've got to just move on. And I think I'd like to see a massive reaction in the next league game, and and see the players like, okay, we're up for this, we're back to normal. That wasn't good enough. They'll have had a kick up the backside privately off the management. So, yeah, I'd like to think it is a blip. I was the same as you, Matthew. I wasn't overly concerned by it. I was disappointed, yes, as we all were, but not overly concerned. And I'm not going to suddenly start criticising the team and Johnson and that's it. All the wheels have come off are rubbish. Blah blah blah. Johnson out. Not at all. This is the best style of football and start to a season I can remember in a long time. We're going to have bumps in the road. We're going to have these situations, and like we've said, we've got to learn from it. And it's happened early in the season, so hopefully we do in situations as we progress through the season. We'll learn from this, get stronger, and build from it. Got to remember, this is a young squad that is still getting to know each other. I remember Johnson saying a few weeks ago in an interview, you won't see the true potential of this squad till we're about 10 or 15 games in. Once they know the philosophy, the full way he wants them to play, they all get used to each other. They still learn, you know what I mean? It's a young team with a sprinkling of experience. So, yeah, for me, a blip, and look forward to the next game, basically.
Excellent. Do you agree, Matthew? Our season isn't on the downward slope after that one game, is it?
No, definitely not. Listen, we lose. We always lose football. Well, we do. We're used to losing, but I think it hurts as we've been on a really good run. But you know what? It won't last long if we perform really, really well tomorrow night. I know it's only a Papa John's game, but it just brings the confidence back. We had that 2-2 draw against Fleetwood, but then we went to Wigan and we won 2-0, and the atmosphere was fantastic. We had a great game, and then that game was forgotten about. If we just keep going, if we use it in a positive way, you're not just sitting there sulking about it. Let's forget about it, as Flanagan said. No, let's remember it. Let's learn from it, and let's let it make us better. So, the next few games, obviously, it's just a shame that Oxford game's been called off. But the next league game will be Gillingham away. That'll be another long distance for the supporters to go. And if it's raining that day, I think everyone is, in a bit of trouble, as there is literally you're open. There's no cover. I don't know if you saw like the Wigan fans are wearing their ponchos and stuff like that for the game. So. Yeah, well, we'll be in trouble if it's raining that day. Hopefully, it's not. But if we perform really well tomorrow night and convincingly beat Gillingham, that game will be completely forgotten about. So yeah, let's just use it as in a positive way. And the belief is still there. We're right behind the players, and you can't be too down about it because it's happened. And let's just get on with it.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Do you think we have a problem, Matthew, with our away performances? I know Theon's just been saying he thinks our home performances will keep us up there or keep us in a good situation. Do you think there's a problem there with our away performances? And if so, what's causing it?
A little bit, actually. I think we're so used to playing at home in our own surroundings, and I think that just goes with it being a young team. They're comfortable, playing in our own stadium. I think, but the only game we've actually won that's away this season is MK Dons. Now that we could have probably have drawn that game as well with Gooch missing the penalty. We did put ourselves under a bit of pressure. Burton away. I think we were quite unlucky to not even get a draw there, because I don't even think we felt the performance was too bad there. It's just that last, that last, sort of, that end product and trying to get a goal. But no, listen, it's okay. We'll learn and Fleetwood as well. I mean, that was horrendously disappointing. That was not to win that game. So I think we've just been unlucky. And I can say, and usually that's not something I'd say. We've just been unlucky. That I think we genuinely have. So no, listen, we'll have Gillingham. We've got quite a few away games coming up. I'm looking at the fixtures now. So we've got Gillingham away, then straight away after that Crewe, and then Rotherham. So we've got 3 more away games this month. So it gives us the perfect opportunity to put that right, really. And I'm confident because we've had a lot of home games. Remember, not that many away games, especially as Sheffield Wednesday was called off. So yeah, it gives us the opportunity to bounce back and perform a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. Are you worried, Colin? Should we be worried about our away form, or do you think it's fine? Do you think we've just been a bit unlucky as well?
Yeah, I do. I think we have been unlucky. I totally agree with what Matthew's saying there. I think the worst game was the one we won. out of the 3,
Yeah.
We could have quite easily lost that MK Dons game. They looked decent, to be fair. The Burton game, we should have been out of sight before they even scored, and it was a really good performance. So that was another one where you just thought, right, okay, we'll take that one on the chin and all. We played well. And the disappointment of Fleetwood, 9 minutes to go, 2-0 up, that game should have been done. So whether you blame the referee, was it a penalty, was it not? We've been through this. The simple fact is we let them back into the game by letting them get that goal back, which was a poor goal to concede, and then that gave them something to really go up for 8 to 9 minutes. If we could have just hung on for another 4 or 5 minutes and held on to that 2-0 win, we would have seen that out. So that was the disappointing thing there. But we're still playing relatively good football away from home. So yeah, I think as long as we start taking more chances that we create, because we seem to be creating plenty of chances and getting in some good areas, but just not quite finishing teams off and putting ourselves under pressure in the final stages of matches when realistically we should have already been out of sight. If we can start putting some of these games to bed and taking the pressure off, then we should be fine away from home as well with this squad, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. Amy Reeve, lovely little donation, 99 pence. Thanks for that, sweetheart. Really appreciate it. Anything we get, that we absolutely love it. So thank you for that, darling.
Paul will use that to go buy himself a McDonald's cheeseburger, 99p.
Well,
put £2 in for a
you know that I wouldn't do that. We've got a bank account for this channel, so anything we make, it does go in there. And we've given away loads of things, haven't we? We've given away season tickets, football tops, and there will be more to come. There'll probably be something this season, actually. So as long as you're subscribed and you like the channel and you get involved, then I'm sure you'll be in with a chance of winning something at some point. So yeah, thank you for that, Amy. Really appreciate it. Matthew, I just want to ask you about the next game. Obviously, it's a cup game. I think there's probably going to be changes made. What sort of changes do you expect to see against Lincoln City?
Well, a lot of under-23s playing. I think, is it Will Harris that scored that hat-trick a few weeks ago? I think he'll probably get a start as well. Obviously, we've got a few players out on loan. Josh Hawkes is out on loan. We'll probably start with, the thing is, as we haven't got a league game on the Saturday, I could probably see maybe a few players that might be rested playing in that game. Maybe I think Dayaku might start it again. Mm-hmm. It's certainly a game that, and even if we lose it, we're not actually at the cup. It's a group game, isn't it? So it's okay. I think we'll put a team out there, and yeah, I think we'll be fine. Changes I would make. Well, I mean, I think Burge will start. That's one player that will start. And then Huggins, I think he's had to withdraw from the Welsh squad though with an injury, so maybe not. I saw
Denver Hume.
Denver Hume. Actually, that's a good one because I think he said that he could probably start, and he's not started tonight for the under-23s. So perhaps he's going to probably start tomorrow. Another one is Jamajli as well, who apparently might be okay to could be involved, because I think Johnson said in the next few weeks he might start playing under 23s games and then maybe the cup games. I mean, he hasn't played for over a year, so I don't know. He'll be quite rusty, I reckon. But yeah, so I think possibly him and Hume could be involved. But I mean, I just change it around a little bit, and I think it could be an opportunity, depending on what the weather is to maybe play the way that we should have on Saturday, and let try a different system, and we got to use these cup games effectively, not just sort of just chuck all the players in and see how it works. Trying different systems, and I think my dad might have just said there something. He said he has a feeling we might win every game we have left.
He says, I've got a feeling if we win every game we have left, we could go up. Now, I tell you what, you can't argue. You can't argue with that, can you?
You can't, no. And also as well, every cup game.
It's going to happen, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Oh, to be honest, though, also with the cup as well, in the Carabao Cup, I mean, with QPR away, I'm looking at this now thinking, this is actually quite a good opportunity to go quite far. I think the last time we were at this point as well, it was against Oxford. Out of all teams, we could have got Man City and Chelsea or any team. We got Oxford and went out of Oxford. So, yeah, I reckon, the cup this season, I think we've given ourselves quite a good opportunity.
Yeah,
we're using that well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Colin, I mean, obviously, there is going to be changes. Is there anything that Matthew hasn't already said that you'd like to add to that?
Just put on there. I didn't see his name. Alves, from on loan from West Ham, the centre half. I think he could start. Yeah, Will Allen. Yeah, I totally agree. I was thinking Alves as well. He possibly could get a start. Denver Hume. Who would he play at the centre half alongside him? I've got a feeling he'd play Bailey Wright, because he said he's going to sprinkle it with experience as well. Because I still think he needs the games.
Yeah.
And who was the player you just mentioned, Matthew, who scored the hat-trick the other day?
Will Harris.
Yeah, I think he could start or be involved at some point. So I do think we're going to see quite a lot of young lads. We might even see what's the young lad called who was playing in pre-season? Was it Reese or something at left back? I can't remember. Right back. I can't remember his name.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, the black lad. I can't remember.
Yeah.
His name.
Oh, Tyrese Dice.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking. I think he could be involved.
A few people mentioning Oliver Younger.
Is he fit? Is he? Yeah, Ollie Younger.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see all these in and around the squad and maybe get a run out at some point, sprinkled in with some of the first team players. O'Brien, yeah, that's a good shout. He could definitely be playing up front, and I even think the likes of Corey Evans could continue to play, because he's not long come back from an injury and probably could continue doing with a run out. But I think it's going to be a vastly changed side, obviously, from Saturday. Yeah,
no, definitely. Yeah. Well, Colin, you first. Give us a quick prediction for this game, and then we'll talk about the next day game after that. So, what are you going for Lincoln City away?
Their manager was talking today, saying that he's going to put out the strongest possible side he can. Whether that materialises or not is another thing. But if he does put out a strong Lincoln side, like a league game Lincoln side, so to speak, then I think it's going to be a tough game. I do, especially with so many changes. I'm not overly concerned, because as much as we love getting to the final, I agree with Johnson. Our priority this season has just got to be to get out of this league. Yes, Amy, I'll take that 2-1. I'll agree with you there. I can't take us to get beat. I'll say 2-1, like out Amy. But I do think it'll be a tough game. And to be honest with you, if we don't go far in this competition, I'm not going to lose any sleep. We need to get out of this league finally once and for all this season. And if we have to give up the Papa John's, the defence of the Papa John's trophy this season, then so be it.
Yeah. So you're going for a 2-1 win, mate? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree with me, daughter. Yeah.
Excellent. Matthew?
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 as well. I reckon. I think maybe Chris Maguire might start as well for Lincoln, which will be interesting. Because he might he might have an extra incentive not against us, the fans, but maybe against Lee Johnson for not wanting to play him that much last season, not giving him a new contract as well. So I reckon it will be probably a tougher game than we might think. So yeah, I will obviously predict a Sunderland win. So 2-1 to Sunderland.
Excellent. I'll go with 2-0. I want to get us a clean sheet and get the confidence back in the defence a little bit. So that's my prediction. Thean's just asked, what about the players called up for international duty? Will they be available for this game, or have they already joined up with their national teams? I personally haven't got a clue. Anybody know it? Yeah.
As I've just said, Corey Evans could possibly have a game, but I think he'll be away, won't he?
Yeah, and also Carl Winchester today's been called up for Northern Ireland as well. Yeah. So I'm not. That's
Flanagan has as well, hasn't he?
Flanagan, yeah. I honestly, I'm not too sure. If someone knows, let us know in the chat, because I'm not too sure. But I think possibly they might have gone already. But if they have, I think that opens up an opportunity for the other players to come through, because let's face it, we have pretty much got 2 11s anyway. So even if they are on international duty, we'll still have the players that will want to come in and do a good job. So I'm not too worried.
Excellent. I think Jason's predicting Lincoln 3, Sunderland 0. He's always quite an optimistic guy, isn't he? We've got.
Not really. He always predicts Sunderland to lose most weeks, to be honest.
Yeah. He just likes to be different.
Yeah, he likes to be weird.
John Pemberton, evening, lads. Cheers, John. I don't know if you've just come here. If you have, we are coming towards the end of the show. But you're here in time to find out what the lads think about our next league game. And they're going to give us a prediction as well. Our next league game is Gillingham away. Predictions and how you see that one going. Do you think that one? I mean, they're not having the best season, obviously, but do you think we'll be back kicking butt? We'll start with you, Matthew.
Yeah, definitely. 2-0 to Sunderland against Gillingham.
Yeah.
Should be. I think if the weather's bad on that day, then I think the pitch, my trainers will be soaked again. And yeah, so hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's a lovely sunny day in beautiful Gillingham, and we have a fantastic performance, and it'll be a brilliant 2-0 Sunderland win.
2-0 Sunderland win. I'm going to give my prediction now before I go to Colin. I'm going to say we're going to be back to it, big style. I'm going to go 3-0 win, and I'm going to say we're going to get a hat trick from Ross Stewart. There you go. I've said it. Put your bets on. Go to the bookies. Don't put your mortgage on it. But yeah, put a bet on. Colin, how do you see it going? Give us your prediction, mate.
It's always a tough game down there, but bounce back ability. We need to bounce back in this game in the league. Get back on it. Get back. 3-1. 3-1 to Sunderland, I'll say. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. Goal scorers, I think if he's fit, McGeady might get one. Dan Neil might get one. And Ross Stewart.
Lovely, excellent. I was going to end it there, but I did want to quickly. I forgot I wanted to mention about I think it was Cheltenham. We played a 4-4-2 formation. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, we had a fantastic result. Do you think, Matthew? Do you think that's something we should maybe try again?
Yeah, I think we did it with Stewart and Broadhead, but I think Broadhead he got injured, didn't he? I think a hamstring injury. I think they said maybe 4 to 6 weeks, which is really disappointing.
What a player he looked, mind.
Yeah, he did look really good and really unlucky to get a goal as well. So I think if he the thing is, we're going to play a 4-4-2 if we've got another striker to play alongside Aidan O'Brien, really, and I'm not too sure that Johnson will be willing to risk Ross Stewart for what is just at the moment a nothing cup, as it's only the group stage. A group stage. Honestly, sounds like you're playing for the Champions League, but we're actually playing for the Papa John's trophy in a group stage. You know what I mean? But I don't think he'll want to risk him for a game, even if we lose, we're not even out. So I think he'll be willing to play anyone really he sees fit. But as I said as well, I think the 23s are playing tonight at the moment. I'll go on and check how they're doing actually. So I think, with them playing tonight, I'm not too sure that many of those players will still will be involved tomorrow night. But I think a few people actually have been. We're 1-0 down. Okay, well that's good. Not anyway. So quite a few people have been left out. So I'm seeing this under 23 team now, and I don't really recognise anyone's names. So I definitely think that quite a few will be involved tomorrow night.
Excellent. Right. Well, I really do appreciate everybody that's coming. We've got loads coming up. Obviously, we're doing well in the Cup, the FA Cup and the League Cup. We're still in it. We've got some good games in the Premiership. We're flying high. We're still joint top. So I'm personally optimistic. Did I give my prediction? I did. Yeah, I did that 3-0. Did I give my prediction? Yeah.
3-0.
Sorry, I'm getting beer brain, I think. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Really, really appreciate everybody that's been involved, all the comments. I know for a fact I do it every single week. I missed loads of yous out. The chatting here jumps about all over the place. So I apologise if I haven't said something that you want us to say. You can follow us on Twitter. My link is SEFC Fans React. If you wanted a question to go out before the stream, you can always send them there and I can pass them on to whoever's hosting. Matthew, want to say something there?
Yeah, I want to say one thing. I want to apologise to everyone for last Friday, because I know everyone loves the quiz that we do on here. Just unfortunately on Friday we didn't quite have the people to make it happen, as I wasn't quite available, or don't think Paul was available either. But I promise everyone that on Friday we will have a quiz. And I also just want to say, if anyone wants to offer to make a quiz, or you think you can make a quiz, that's good. You can think of a good few questions or whatnot. If you go on Kahoot, it's easy to make a Kahoot quiz. Just you can make one 20 questions long, and maybe you can even come on the stream and host it, or you can send it to myself to do. So I just want to offer that to everyone. If you want to make a quiz, 20 questions, you're more than welcome to. So yeah, just want to say that.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, click the subscribe button, click the bell notification if you want to see more videos. That is going to be it for today. Thanks, Colin. I really do appreciate you coming on short notice and
You're welcome.
Giving your valued opinions there. And Matthew as well. Fantastic show. Really appreciate it. So that's it. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next for... are we doing reactions? I don't know. Are we doing reactions after...
No, I don't think Sean's going to Lincoln, so probably not. No.
Well, in that case, it'll probably be Fans React Friday with the guaranteed quiz. That's it for now. You guys take care, and we'll see you later.